YouTube, the NBA regular season is over, and before we get to the NBA playoffs, of course, we have to deal with the NBA play-in tournament, and with all of the Eastern Conference and Western Conference seeding out of the way, now we know every single team that's going to be in the NBA play-in tournament, and in this video, I want to give my predictions on who I think will be coming out of it, and I'm going to be predicting every single one of the games that we're about to see. The matchups are, in the Western Conference, the 7-seeded New Orleans Pelicans will host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The winner of that game will advance to the playoffs as the 7th seed and take on the Denver Nuggets. On that very same Tuesday night, after the Lakers-Pelicans game is over, we will be seeing the Sacramento Kings host the Golden State Warriors. The winner of that game will play the loser of the Lakers-Pelicans, and whoever wins that game will take on the 1st-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the playoffs. So that's the Western Conference matchups. Moving over to the Eastern Conference, we have my very own Philadelphia 76ers as the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference, and they will host the Miami Heat on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Winner of that game will go on to face the number 2 seed New York Knicks in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. On that very same Wednesday night, we will have the 9th-seeded Chicago Bulls hosting the 10th-seeded Atlanta Hawks at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The loser of that game, just like the Kings-Warriors game, will be eliminated for the season, and the winner of that game will go on to face the loser of the Sixers-Heat game, and the winner of that game will take on the Boston Celtics in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Let's talk about who's winning these games, folks. So we're going to start in the Western Conference just like we did with the intro, and we're going to work our way down the seedings and matchups until we get to the bottom of the East, starting with the Los Angeles Lakers at the New Orleans Pelicans on Tuesday night. The Pelicans are favored to win this game. They have home court advantage. Brandon Ingram's back and healthy. He actually played last night to end out the regular season. For both of these teams, everyone appears to be healthy and able to play in Tuesday night. With that being said, who wins this game? I personally think New Orleans is going to win this game. I made a video about the Pelicans earlier, probably about a week or two ago, and basically laying out how I think they're the most underrated team in the West, or one of them at least, because they are an absolute matchup nightmare. I do think the Lakers will have a good matchup with them on paper, just in terms of size and athleticism and stuff like that, but the Pelicans are a nightmare, man. Like I said in the video that I made about them, their size is maybe the best in the NBA, especially in the front court. Their lineup is just so big. Zion Williamson, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones or Trey Murphy. Probably Herb Jones will be starting. And then there's so much skill and, versatility on their team as well. Great playmaking from Zion, CJ, and BI. And then you have the ability to generate offense in both the half-court setting and in transition. Excellent perimeter defense, in my opinion, with Herb Jones, Najee Marshall, Jose Alvarado. I just think this team's super slept on, and I think the Lakers are going to have a handful with them. They're young. They like to get out and run. They have a good culture. They play hard. Everyone's healthy. Like I said, they're just bigger. The Lakers are a big team as well, but I just don't know. I think if the Lakers go through a stretch where they struggle offensively, I think the Pelicans take this game easily. I think it's gonna be a really good game, but I do think the Pelicans come out on top and eventually go on to play the Denver Nuggets as a 2-seed, 7-seed matchup in the first round of the playoffs. That series is gonna be for another video, but let me know down in the comment section if you think the Lakers or Pelicans are gonna win. I think it's gonna be the Pelicans. Now, moving on to the Kings Warriors, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think it's gonna be really, really difficult for the Kings to win this basketball game with Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter out. I mean, these are two of your best offensive players and most impactful, especially Malik Monk, who has been playing really, really good basketball this season and last season. I think he's super underrated as a 6-man type player who, when he gets hot, he's really, really tough to stop. But as far as the matchup on paper, I actually like the matchup for both sides. I think it's pretty even. These two teams are very familiar with each other, playing in the first round of the playoffs last year where the Warriors knocked them out of the playoffs. And I do think the Kings are going to have a lot of revenge in mind in this matchup to be able to knock Golden State out of the playoffs in one game. But I will say, as I alluded to before, the Malik Monk injury is really going to kill the Sacramento Kings, in my opinion. I have the Warriors coming out on top of this game, and they will be playing the Lakers in the final phase of the play-in tournament. Sacramento Kings are going home. No beams will be lit on Tuesday night. Let's talk about the Lakers-Warriors matchup. In this scenario I've just described, first of all, how awesome would it be if this was actually our matchup? Second of all, I have the Lakers winning this game. The Warriors are just not a very complete team this season. They really struggle at times defensively, especially on the interior. Lakers love exploiting the interior. That's kind of the name of their game. They get to the basket, they create mismatches. They're bigger and stronger than you, more skilled in the paint. I just think the Warriors are going to have a lot of trouble on the interior defensively and on the boards against AD and Bron and company. And I just think the Lakers are overall a better team this year. We've seen these teams go at it last year in the second round of the playoffs, and Lakers-Warriors is always such a hype matchup, but I do think the Lakers just are better at this point, and Lakers will advance in this game, knock Steph Curry and the Warriors out of the playoffs, and eventually blow up their dynasty. Lakers will move on to play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the playoffs. And again, we'll talk about that in a different video coming up this week on the channel. Make sure you you guys subscribe. Those are my Western Conference play-in predictions. A lot of those picks might be unpopular to you guys, but let me know down in the comments section what you guys have, who you have coming out of the West, and who do you think wins these matchups. Do you disagree with me? Anyways, let's move on to my Eastern Conference 76ers versus Heat matchup, and I am absolutely terrified for this. I'm going to try to remain unbiased, but I'm not going to be able to. 76ers versus Heat. Winner goes on to play the New York Knicks in the first round of the playoffs. Again, I cannot stress enough how absolutely terrified I am. Just a side note here, if the Sixers lose this game, I do think they beat the winner of Chicago or Atlanta, but I also think we'll be out of the playoffs in 5 games playing the Celtics. So this is a very, very important game here for me and my team, but I will say I have them winning regardless. Even on paper, I think the Sixers are a better team. They're finally fully healthy. I think everyone's going to play in that game. Everyone on the roster is going to be available for like the first time all season. Embiid's back. It doesn't look like he's in fantastic shape, but he did appear to be playing better and better throughout the few games that he played towards the end of the regular season. It appeared he gained kind of his rhythm back, and Miami's always a tough matchup, but I do think Sixers are a better team. Tyrese Maxey is playing absolutely lights out. The Sixers have won their last 8 games of the regular season, some of those without Joel Embiid as well. Again, I think Maxey and the depth of the Sixers, I've talked about this in a different video, but Sixers are incredibly deep as a team this year, especially at guard and wing. Kelly Oubre is playing unreal basketball right now. To me, the matchups aren't going to be an issue for the Sixers. We have guys like Kyle Lowry to defend guards, Nico Batum, who is a really solid off-ball defender, got plenty of size in the front court, Tobias Harris, Robert Covington might be back, Anthony Melton's going to be healthy. I just think the Sixers are a more deep and complete team. I do think they have better top-end talent as it is. They're also home. The Heat will give them a great game, and the Heat always give us trouble, but I do think the Sixers are just better, and I think Nick Nurse has had a real impact on Joel Embiid this season. He's been way more effective against double teams and blitzes, and seems to be handling that very well. I have the Sixers coming out of that game on top and playing the New York Knicks in the second round. Again, I'm super biased. That's probably why I picked my team, but let me know down in the comment section if you agree. So Miami moves on to the losers bracket, and now we have the Chicago Bulls versus the Atlanta Hawks. Chicago Bulls, the home team. I will say, Onyeka Okongwu and Jalen Johnson will be out of that game for the Hawks, which is, devastating for them. That's 2 of their best 4 or 5 players, I'd say. Trae Young is back in action. I don't know. This is a weird game to predict for me. I do think the Hawks might have better top-end talent. They definitely do, but especially with DeJounte Murray playing so good as of late, yeah, I think the Hawks might win this game. I think their defense is absolutely atrocious, but offensively, they're way better, in my opinion, and the Bulls do play more of a slow-pace brand of basketball. They really take care of the basketball. They don't turn the ball over. I might actually go with the Bulls if they can somehow slow down Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. I think Jalen Johnson being out is really going to affect the Hawks' chances. Man, this is a tough one. You know what? I'm going to go with the Chicago Bulls. I think their interior presence and size in the paint is going to absolutely overwhelm the Hawks without Onyeka Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, and guys like that. I think Clint Capella is going to have his hands full that day, get in foul trouble early. Andre Drummond, Vucevic are going to absolutely bully the Hawks. You get Ayo Dosunmu and Alex Caruso on Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. I think the Bulls have plenty of offense to be able to overcome the Hawks, especially if they slow down their top 2 guys. I'm going with the Bulls. Hawks eliminated, and now for the Heat Bulls matchup, winner goes and plays the Celtics in the first round. There is absolutely no question to me who is a better team here, and I'm going to go with the Miami Heat. First of all, they're going to have home court advantage. Second of all, they're just so much more talented than the Bulls. There's a lot of coaching things you can do to overcome talent gaps. Unfortunately, this talent deficit is way too much for the Bulls. I think the Heat come out of this game pretty favorably. I don't even think it's going to be a very close game, and the Heat go on to play the Celtics in the first round of the playoffs. How hype would that be? If anyone can knock down the Celtics early on in the playoffs, it's going to be the Miami Heat. That's the bane of their existence. But that's it for the play-in tournament. What do you guys think of my predictions? Do you think everything I said is true? Do you think some of it's true? Let me know who you have with all these games coming up. Genuinely curious. Again, there is so much riding on Wednesday night for my team, and if we lose that game, I think our season's effectively over. So definitely let me know. I'm really curious to see what you guys have as your predictions. This is gonna be an excellent play-in tournament. All these matchups are gonna be so good. I just love basketball, man. I can't wait for the playoffs. Play-in's gonna be so hype. I'm sure I'll be making videos as the play-in tournament's happening, because I'm sure I'm gonna get some of this stuff wrong, and I really want to make a full playoff prediction video. So I'll probably be doing like, rant reactions about like the Sixers Heat game after it happens and stuff like that. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys don't want to miss that. Like I said, let me know down in the comment section. Thank you guys for all of the insane, overwhelming support as of late. That Dallas Mavericks video did so well, and you guys are so awesome in the comments. I really appreciate you guys. Commenters like you guys, you know who you are if you're watching this video. You guys just make the channel so much fun, and I appreciate you guys so much. This channel is all about appreciating the game that we love and breaking down certain things as they happen, and just sharing a passion and love for the game of basketball in the NBA. So I really appreciate you guys that take the time out of your day to leave really long comments, and not even just long ones, just really well thought out stuff. Even if you disagree with me, that's not what this is about. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about me being right all the time. I don't care about that. I just do this because I love basketball, and I love to share this stuff with you guys, because that's why I'm doing this, right? I get a lot of things things wrong, actually. I'm open to being wrong, and that means I get to learn something new about the game I love. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day today. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. Drop a like on the video, really helps out the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, especially if you don't want to miss any more content like this. Hopefully your favorite team wins their next NBA game, and hopefully your favorite NBA team makes it out of the play-in tournament against the Miami Heat on Wednesday night, because our season's over if we don't. I will catch you guys in the next one. This is your boy D-Have, and as always, peace.